What's going on, wrestling world? I want to welcome you back. This is Wednesday. Today is Hump Day. Welcome back. Clouded Thoughts of Wrestling, episode 18, AEW Edition. And we had some big news coming out the AEW camp. We are going to get into that. But before we do, I need a thumbs up. I need a subscribe. I need you to click that bell for notifications. I need all those three. It don't got to be in that order, but I need all those three. Support the channel. Help the boy out. Very much appreciated, and I do support the continued support that has been shown. Very much respect and appreciate all of that. AEW's been making some noise. They've made noise today. They had a big announcement today as they will be airing on TNT October 2nd. Capital One Center in DC. DC is close to me. I'm going to make that a priority for me to be there. Now, I know AEW, their events have been selling out like crazy. And with this being their first TNT weekly show, I'm pretty sure that this is going to probably sell out as quickly. This event could be almost handled like a pay-per-view with it being their first. So I know I'm going to have to be on that. So I'm going to try to make it, and I hope that, I can definitely get there and see you guys there if you're going to be making it, and why not? It's their first show, and I feel like they are going to go all out for their first show, and they're also going all out on August 31st. Now, I've been keeping up with being the elite. If you haven't, I can't stress it enough. It's on YouTube. Follow it. It's their way right now until October 2nd. It's their way of getting you prepared for their shows. Fight for the Fallen, yeah, it was good. Fyter Fest was good, but their two main ones was Double or Nothing, what they started with, and it's going to be All Out. I feel like All Out has the potential to be the best show of the summer. I like my NXT. Like my New Japan, but the month of August, and we're talking about just pay-per-view, I think All Out has the potential to be the best, and has the potential to probably be one of the best wrestling pay-per-views, in history. It can be that good, and I think that they will be. Maybe I hold AEW to a little high expectations, but they deliver for me. They're here for the fans, and they've proven that so far. Now, being the elite. I'm going to go back to last week's being the elite. We had Matt and Nick Jackson. They started out last week's being the elite, and they were at the Jaguars Stadium. They even checked out the Jaguars field, and it was cool watching them in there. And it just, to me, the only reason why I want to mention this is because it's like watching them there at the field. It just that this AEW thing, it has the potential to be something huge, which is, I think it already is. And it has the potential to keep on growing. And if they just keep on doing their thing and being focused on being the best they can be, I see this thing being huge. And I see this AEW, these guys eventually putting on a show at TIAA Bank Stadium, the Jaguars' home field. I can see that happening. So, to me, that could have been a little foreshadowing. Then they went to MJF and Sammy G. They were messing with Brandon Cutler. If you know Brandon Cutler, he's really only been in the Battle Royal at Double or Nothing in the buy-in. His wife makes a lot of the gear and handles a lot of the gear for the wrestlers. And he was just, taking the gear to some dropping off some gear to some of the wrestlers, and he runs into Sammy G. And, Sammy G's just being a dick, he's like, whoa, you got a match? When's the last time you wrestled? Brandon's like, no, I don't have a match tonight. I'm just helping my wife. I'm driving. My wife does, the gear. She handles the gear for a lot of these wrestlers, and I'm just going to drop something off. And Brandon goes, that. Sammy goes, that's fine. You'll always, even after wrestling, you'll be fine. You got your cosplay and what your wife does, so you'll be fine. And Brandon, it's funny because Brandon goes, oh, there it goes. Then MJF, man, just a class. I love MJF, man. He just comes out busting out laughing. What a loser, Just walks away, and then Sammy G even calls him, a nerd or whatever. And it's just good heel work from Sammy G and MJF, and I've really been impressed with both. But Sammy G, man, I really like Sammy G and what I've been seeing from him in the ring, and I like Sammy G and MJF's heel. I like their heel personas and how they play their heel ways. Like Sammy G can start off like he means good and he means well, but it's like, no, you really know, like, you like, dude, you're being a dick. And MJF is just, there's no hiding it, he's just a dick. Then it went to MJF messing with Marco Stunt. Marco Stunt, you know, man, he's the small guy that was in a battle, the Double or Nothing Battle Royal. He also came out with Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy at Fight for the Fallen. I also interfered in the match as well. It was hilarious because MJF goes, "Oh, are you lost?" And he takes his hand. He's like, "Do you need to find your mother?" And he just takes him, and then he looks and he says, "Oh man, this is kind of embarrassing. You're Marco Stunt." And then Marco's just sitting there like, "Yeah, dude, you idiot." And like, this is so, and he's like, "You know, I do know where your mother is. She's in my hotel room." And this is MJF just being a good heel, just continuing to show that like this guy is just a dick. And I just like the little interaction he had with Marco Stunt. Then we go to Peter Avalon, man. He's basically just pissed about the librarian gimmick. And, you know, he's just raving on it. It was the Young Bucks, and they were taking a picture of him. And I guess this was, like, prior to Fight for the Fallen. And it's funny because the Young Bucks tell them, they're like, "You guys are, you know, you're the reason why everyone's watching the buy-in." And then they even took a little shot at WWE saying, "Man, our storylines are so much better than, you know, WWE's." And, you know, they mentioned that the librarians, like, the number was trending #1 or something like that. But after they walk away, I like how Peter Avalon is just upset. And he throws everything down. And he's like, "I can't do this. You know, I can barely read. I don't like this gimmick. I just did this because I wanted to get my feet in the door." But then Leva Bates is like, "What? I like it. This is a gimmick for me." And she tries to like talk Peter into like, "No, man, we can do it, and I'll show you, and we'll be all right together." And Peter's just like, "I'm not. I'm talking to creative." Like, no, I'm not having it. And I'll get later on in this show, I'll get to why. What this really reminds me of and what they're really going at right here, because on the second being the Elite, we'll address that. SCU, they're just pissed about the Lucha Bros, how they attacked them post-match after their match they had. They attacked them with the ladder, and, you know, I think they're heated about that, and I think that they're going to get back at the Lucha Bros. I don't know how, I don't know when, but I looking at Scorpio, Kazarian, and Daniels, they are going to definitely do something about that. That's for sure. And they mentioned that, and I liked it because Kazarian, he goes, "You say you have zero fear." He goes, "Well, we have zero fucks to give." I like that, and I liked at the end he goes, "SC you putos later." That was dope. That was dope. I really like that by Frankie Kazarian, man. I like SCU, but they really looked, you know, they looked upset, and they should be. So I can't wait to see more what happens with the Lucha Bros and SCU as we continue. And we know that there's going to be a big tournament that AEW is going to be focusing on to crown their first ever tag team championships once the shows start, August 2nd. Next, we had them patching up Hangman in the back, and Brandon Cutler's kind of videoing him, and he's like, "Hey, man, can I get a close-up?" And Hangman's like, "Yeah." And it was even cool because it got to the point where, like, you know, Jericho attacked you, and Hangman's like, "That was Jericho, right?" Like, "Yeah, that was Jericho." I like that because it plays off because Jericho was dressed as a minion before he attacked Hangman Page. So maybe Hangman really couldn't get a real good look, you know, out of what happened, and then he laid him out. So I like that. I like that. Like, you know, you got your cock king. It's like, well, you know, it was Jericho who attacked me, right? And they're like, "Yeah, no, man, it was Jericho. Yeah, it was Jericho." So like, then it just gave you the scene of his eye and the shiner he had, and, you know, having to go, he had to get stitches. I just like, you know, graphically what that showed. That was cool. And then it closed out. Being the Elite, it closed out. We had Matt and Nick Jackson as they were apologizing. They weren't apologizing. They were sitting there. Dustin and Cody, they're eating pizza, and they're like feed the pizza to the Young Bucks. And then, you know, it's funny because Dustin asks Nick, he's like, "Yeah, man, your arm." Matt Jackson, I believe, he's like, "Yeah, that arm. You know, how's that arm doing?" And he's like, yeah, that's cool. 'Cause remember, they messed that arm up in that match. He's like, yeah, so, it's all right. And I just liked it. And they're like, they like, sorry for, making fun of you guys and all that. And it was a cool little moment between Cody, Dustin, and the Young Bucks. And I really enjoyed it. And that's basically how last week's Being the Elite ended. Now, we're going to get to the second Being the Elite. And then I'm going to go over some quick points that happened on the road to All Out. Now, on second Being the Elite, we had Peter Avalon. He's now talking to Creative. Remember where we left off last week? You had him upset, and he's like, I'm going to talk to Creative. Well, he's in there talking to Creative. And they're just basically like, they're playing. Here's where I'm going to get to where this reminds me of. Okay? It's Moxley and WWE. Because Avalon's in there talking, and he's just like, I don't like it. It's not me, basically voicing his opinion. And it's just like, I love this. He said, so what am I, an idiot? No, they're basically telling him, like, this is you, this fits you, this is you, we're doing this is what you're going to do. And he's like, so basically, I'm an idiot. And it's like, he says, you got to work harder to be an idiot. That was it. I lost it right there. And I just see it as mocking the whole Moxley thing, because the whole thing was like, if you watch the interview that he had with Jericho, it was almost the same thing they were saying, this is you, you're going to do this, that we came up with this gimmick, it fits you, it works. It's basically Vince McMahon doing the Jedi mind trick on Moxley. And then at the end, Peter Avalon goes, this is what you want me to do, and da-da-da, then I'm your guy to do it. And he puts the glasses back on, and he walks out, and he goes, you like that paycheck, don't you? And it's just them, and I know people talk about how they take shots on WWE. But everybody takes shots on WWE. Everybody, and it's not like they're lying. It's not like they're lying. There's so many people that have been upset about what they are pushed to do, knowing that it's not what they want, but you go and you talk to Creative, like Moxley said in that interview, and if you haven't checked it out, go watch it. That's why now I'm like, so that's why they're doing this librarian thing. Kind of makes sense. I believe Peter Avalon will eventually break out of the librarian gimmick, and he will start doing his own thing. I believe that. Peter Avalon dope in the ring. I really enjoy him, but I like this whole little, and I like because he's voicing his opinion, like, I don't like this, and everyone's like, oh, we don't like the librarian, da-da-da-da, but watching these Being the Elites, it's like, well, you get it. You have to watch Being the Elite and keep up so you can understand while they're doing what they're doing. Next, Rick Knox. I got to bring up my man Rick Knox. He's the referee for AEW. And he's been having these skits or these scenes where last week, I didn't mention it, but Hangman's using the bathroom. And he doesn't wash his hands. And I don't like that. That's just disgusting. But he doesn't wash his hands as he's leaving. And Rick Knox is like, you got a match. You're about to be on. Go wash your hands. And Hangman says, no, I'm not washing my hands. My dick's probably more cleaner than my hands. Literally what he said to Rick Knox. And he's like, I don't care. Wash them. 1, 2, 3. He starts counting. And Hangman's like, all right. He hurries up. He gets the soap. He starts washing his hands. And he dries them. And he's like, I'm good. It's like, yeah, good. And he leaves. Well, this week of Being the Elite is what Private Party, they're celebrating, they're pumped. They sign these contracts, they're in, they get money, they get that money. So they're excited, and they give like a high five, but they tag. It's a high five, but it's a tag. Rick Knox comes around, and he's like, you tag, you got to switch. And they're like, what? What do you mean? And he's like, you tag, you got to switch. 1, he starts counting again, and then they switch, and he's like, good. He's like, we good? We cool? He's like, yeah. He walks away. And then they're like, what the hell was that? He's like, I don't know. That was weird. I like Rick Knox. I like the Rick Knox segments on Being the Elite. It's really been funny. Then we get to Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. They came to the ring with Marco Stunt. Marco Stunt was with them. And it basically just showed, Marco Stunt's been getting messed with. He got messed with by MJF. Billy Gunn sits on him, and he's like, man, you gotta grow up, kid. It's like, what? I'm not a kid. So Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, they recruited him like, hey man, we know what it's like getting messed with. We know what it's like, so tag along with us. So that explains, now I know the whole connection between Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, and Marco Stunt. There's that. Next, we have the Dark Order, who I like, but a lot of people have been crapping on. I don't understand why. Did you see that triple threat tag team match they were in? And they're basically just saying, we said what we were going to do and we're doing it. You people still doubt, but we beat two of your favorite tag teams in that triple threat match. And basically it's going to continue. Stu Grayson comes in, we're the Dark Order. I like his accent with it. And I like the Dark Order. I really do. And it's just preparing us for the match they have with Chucky T and Trent Beretta, the best friends, which will be the winner of that match will be given a first round bye in the tag team tournament that will take place to crown the first ever AEW tag team champions. Now, a lot of people have been crapping on this because they're like, well, why do you got to wrestle 2 matches to miss one? Why do you got to play 16 football games to miss one? It's a tournament. Like, you're gonna fight, but once you're in that tournament, the matches don't matter. You already advanced to the second round, where most teams won't even make it out of the first round. You're already in the second round. You're already one step closer to winning the tournament. That's the gist of it. Now, I know people go, oh, I get it, it just doesn't make sense. Well, you're thinking too deeply about it, and you're thinking too hard. I just gave you some, well, that's the NFL, but no. They play 16 games, and a lot of them to make the playoffs, yes, but 2 teams get a first round bye. You missed the first game of the playoffs. You automatically are one step closer to the Super Bowl. That means you got to wrestle one less match than other teams in set tournament. Just had to get that out the way. Young Bucks. They accept the challenge that was issued by the Lucha Brothers. I know I said, you guys, that the Lucha Brothers attacked SCU with the lighters, and SCU was pissed about it. They expressed how pissed they were about it. The Young Bucks accept. And I like, because people were saying that Ring of Honor kind of, threw some shade towards the Young Bucks at Manhattan Mayhem, which we will be doing a thumbs up, thumbs down, too sweet this week. But they mention all the tag teams that the Briscoes have been up against, but they did not mention the Young Bucks. They mentioned the Hardys. And in this, on Being the Elite, as they accepted, they said, we've been in the ladder match. We beat the Hardys. And then they went on saying, we've wrestled all over the world. We've been in ladder wars, which also is a Ring of Honor thing. You understand what I'm saying? So they're like, oh, no, you think you want to throw shade, but you can't. And that's what I like about AEW and them. It's like, no, man, if you want to take that shot, they know, and they watch, and they are on their game. And I really like that. That's just me. That's just a little thought I had about it. Now, they accepted it. I like how they did it, how they addressed it. That's going to be one hell of a tag team match at All Out. Ladder match, Lucha Bros, Young Bucks, arguably 2 of the best tag teams on the planet. That this is going to be amazing, and I definitely cannot wait for it. You knew the Young Bucks were going to accept. You knew they weren't backing down from that challenge. You knew it. So that was the 2 Being the Elite. That was last week, and this week we also have Road to All Out. So if you guys are not following Road to All Out, it's the Nightmare Family on YouTube. Subscribe. And they had the Road to Double or Nothing. They had the Road to Fighter Fest. They had the Road to Fight for the Fallen. Now we're on the Road to All Out. So keep up to date with that. That's how you keep up to date for right now what's going on with AEW. Because we don't have a show until August 31st. Tony Schiavone. Now this is last week's Road to All Out. Tony Schiavone, they got a segment with him. It's called The Control Room, and he's just going over. They highlighted Fight for the Fallen and everything that went down there. And then he goes in to highlight the main event of All Out for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship to crown the first ever AEW World Heavyweight Champion between the Hangman Page, and the Painmaker, Chris Jericho. Now, then it go and then updates, Jericho attacking Hangman, and Hangman coming out attacking Jericho. The promo Jericho cut at Fight for the Fallen, saying that, I have to beat Hangman. I have to beat Hangman. I have to beat Hangman. If I don't, this could be the start to the end of my career. Talking about he has to do it. We got a great vignette, whatever you want to call it, video package. That's what I like on Hangman Page. A lot of people saying that this guy's not a top star, or he's only being pushed as a top star because he's part of the elite. That's just horseshit. That's horseshit. This guy is a star, and everyone knows it. Everybody knows. Why do you think when they were talking, when they were going over the deals with Triple H and NXT, why do you think the deals were what they were? Why do you think that Hangman Page was going to get pushed to the moon immediately? Because that's how good Hangman Page is. He proved it. And did you see, he rips out the stitches saying, I don't want the scar to go away. I want it to keep, because I want to remember that this is the only thing that's in between me and getting that championship is flesh and blood. It don't, I just enjoyed everything he said. He started out, he's like, you know what, Jericho, I'm going to give you a thank you because you just made me a dog, a savage. I'm trying to think, I know now, okay, let's go. Thank you, Jericho, for awakening the inner beast in me. Is basically what my man Hangman Page said. And I enjoyed it. And it really I loved it because it's I don't get how you look at this, man. You've seen, go watch his film. Go watch him in Ring of Honor. Watch him in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Watch this vignette that he did. It was just a promo vignette. It was amazing. It was amazing. It was awesome. I really enjoyed it. And Road to All Out. This was this week's episode. They put it up yesterday. Go check it out. I really much enjoyed it. And like I said, man, he literally he pulled out his stitches. He pulled them out. He ain't pull them out. He ripped them. He ripped them joints out. He just just ripped them out, and just was just going hard. And everything that he said was just so you could feel it. You could feel it, and it just gets you even more pumped for their match at All Out, which I believe is going to be a hell of a match. Then we got Shawn Spears talking to good old JR. We've been waiting for it. We've been waiting for JR to talk to Shawn Spears. And JR, when him and MJF was going at it, Shawn Spears told me, he said, hey, you want to know what's up? Send JR to me, and I'll let y'all know what's going on. And he did. He did, and it's basically, he ain't like Cody calling him a hand. There was a segment on Road, I believe it might have been Road to Fighter Fest, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe I believe it was Road to Fighter Fest, if I'm not mistaken. And he said, Shawn Spears, it was a big signing, and it was the Road to Fighter Fest. Yes, it was because Shawn Spears had a nice little video package that they aired there. Also, Joey Janela, where he was addressing the whole Jon Moxley thing. And we also got the Darby Allin one. So that all happened on the Road to Fighter Fest. And he mentions he's a good hand. And also he mentioned how, he's going to be a good hand helping the young guys in the back and being a good role model for them and all that. And Shawn Spears didn't like that. And in this video, he told JR, what he said to me is what executives like him have been telling me my whole career. A place where he just left. And he's like, Cody changed. He puts on that suit. He puts a vice president label by his name, and he's changed. He's different. He goes in to talk about how close they were. They were like brothers. He said, I only got 5 real close friends in this business, and Cody's one of them. Was one of them. And he's like, calling someone a hand is just something you don't do in wrestling. I like JR because he's like, yeah, I mean, you got to be pretty mad to wrap a chair around someone's head. That really made you mad. And I like how JR was like, I don't really think Cody meant it in that way, but that's the way you took it, and it showed. And it did. It showed. Sean Spears basically didn't like that. He feels like, man, there's a lot that I gotta show the world that they ain't seen from me yet. And for you just thinking that I'm just gonna be like a layover or pushover or just a guy to help get young guys over to be a walking mat, a welcome mat. It's like, nah, that's not why I'm here. That's not why I want to be here in AEW right now. I want to show what I wasn't able to show in the place I was at before this. And you kind of making me feel like you like one of them because you got a suit and tie on and you got this vice president label to your name. I really enjoyed it. And then he pulls out the wild card, man. He says, great battles weren't won by like great soldiers or like great weapons you had. I believe that was on the lines he said. He said they were won by great minds. Out walks Tully Blanchard. If you don't know who Tully Blanchard is, do some research. 1980s, Four Horsemen member. Yeah, running with my man Ric Flair. Woo! They were beefing with Dustin Rhodes. He knows Dustin Rhodes. Big rival. Not Dustin, Dusty, excuse me. The dad, the father of Dustin and Cody. Yeah, he brought his rival out. And all Tully said is, JR. He comes out, he whispers something in Sean Spears' ear, and he goes, JR, this interview is done. And that's how it ended. Man, I want to say this. How can AEW be more entertaining than a Monday and Tuesday? I'm sorry if I say this is just my opinion. I don't mean to really just. I know how you WWE loyalists feel. I know. I love all wrestling, man, but I've been on this AEW trend a lot, and I like what they're doing. And the way they are building up to their shows, the way they build up to their matches. It's like, this is, to me, man, this is what I want to see from wrestling. This is what I want to see from this is what I want to see from a wrestler. So this is why I'm so invested, and I can't wait to see what they do on a weekly basis. Because if they can do this on a Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, because I know being the Elite, they're up every Monday. Road to All Out, it's like Tuesday, sometimes Wednesday, the latest. But how they get you in touch with their superstars, how they get you to understand where they're coming from, just the passion, you see it. You see it, and you can just see that these guys really enjoy this, and they're doing it for they getting paid money, but they doing it because they love pro wrestling. It's awesome. Tully Blanchard, Tessa Blanchard is arguably probably the best women's wrestler in the world right now. It's her father. Just had to point that out. Go over this last road to All Out. This was this week's episode. We got a three-way. It's been announced for All Out between Darby Allin, or Darby Allin, whatever you want to call him, Jimmy Havoc, and Joey Janela. Now, they had a 6-man tag match between Sean Spears, MJF, and Sammy Guevara, in which they lost. And if you saw the match, you would think that they would have been a more cohesive team than what they were. But they fell apart. Darby Allin didn't like how he wasn't really being tagged into the match. He tagged himself in, but when he tagged himself in, Jimmy Havoc was doing his thing. And it kind of messed up the rhythm and momentum. They lost. Darby Allin took the pin to Sean Spears. Sean Spears, the one who kind of overshadowed Darby Allin in that great match he had with Cody where they tied. there was a little thing between there, and I even liked how Shawn Spears was the one to pin him. So we could see some future tension between Shawn Spears and Darby Allin. They got into it backstage. They just got into it, and you can understand. I mean, Jimmy Havoc hasn't won a match yet. Joey Janela, and he even expressed, "I'm 0-2. I am 0-2." He was yelling it as they were going at it. And Darby Allin, I mean, yeah, he tied with Cody, but they don't have a win. So you can see that was a big reason for them to really be going at it. And that's what happened, and they announced that at All Out, it will be these three in a three-way match. That is going to be something that's going to be awesome. If you know these three guys, if you know their work, they have that hardcore edge to them, this is going to be something good. And it's a big win. I mean, one of these guys are going to get their first AEW win. Chris Van Vliet was also on the control room on this episode. And I like my man Chris Van Vliet. He does really good work. He does really good interviews. If you haven't checked him out, type his name up in YouTube. Chris Van Vliet. Awesome, man. He does really, really good work. I enjoy Chris Van Vliet, like him a lot. Keep up the good work, my man. He was at the control room. It was good seeing him on there, and he was basically going over the before I get into some excuse, I know it's done got a little darker. The light's on. I don't want to get up, cut the light on. It's a little dim right now, guys. Just bear with me. It's getting darker and darker here. Oh, there we go. We got light. Whoa. We have light. So, Chris Van Vliet, my man was on Road to All Out. We got light. It's so much brighter. I want to apologize. It was dark. I didn't want to get up to turn the light on. You know how that goes. But, I just got some assisted help, much needed help. So I appreciate that. But we got light, so it's a little brighter here. But we only got a little bit. I'm about to close this thing out real quick. So, not real quick, but I only have a little bit to go over. Moxley, Kenny Omega. I like this too. Moxley had an interview. Moxley, I like how he described Kenny Omega. He described him as this myth, this lord, this legend, this Van Gogh of wrestling who has painted art and had 60-minute classics in New Japan you hear about. And he goes, while he's doing all that and getting those names, being dubbed the best bout machine, I'm hitting people in the face with cream pies. That explains everything to me and what we have been seeing from Moxley. This is Moxley letting everything out that he has held in for all this time. It's coming out and we're seeing it. And I'm loving every minute of it. And he's like, you know what? I don't know if the legend's real, but basically what I do know is I'm learning you. I'm in Japan. He's in the G1 Climax. He is undefeated in the G1 Climax. If you've been keeping up with the G1 or just my G1 episodes, my results, standings, and predictions, you would know. Jon Moxley has been killing it in the G1. And he's basically saying, I want to learn your style. I want to learn your tricks of the trade. I want to learn everything. That's why I'm in New Japan. It's good. That is just amazing. Like, that's Moxley saying, man, and how he started off, he goes, I love pro wrestling. Do it every day. He said, and I was almost taken from me. He said, I'll never let that happen again. You can see it. And if you're one of the people out there that's crapping on Moxley, man, just shut up. Stop being such a hater all your life. It's not healthy, I promise you. Just sit back and learn to enjoy the good things. And this is good. This is good. What AEW is doing, the matches that they've been putting out, the content, how deep, how much they are investing you into the wrestlers that they have. If you can't get into that and enjoy that, then I don't even know what to tell you. Like, I don't even know what to tell you. You just rock on and do what you do. But to throw so much shade and so much hate just because you a fan of this or you a fan of that, like, you may come on here and you may think that I crap on WWE, but I don't. When WWE's good, I tell you when it's good. I tell you what I like about it. But it's just not the wrestling I want to see right now. That's just me. I don't want to see all the joking around and all that. I don't want to see all that all the time. I just don't. I want some seriousness and some passion. You know, that's just what I want to see. I want to see it handled the way AEW was handling it. When I watched the Road to All Out, that's what I want to see being built up to matches. And I hope they take this, and I hope they can incorporate this on a weekly basis and give us great. I was like going to say good, but then I thought about great, so you got like great and good mixed together. I want to see great weekly television. What we get from an NXT. And then if this makes FS Fox, if this makes them put NXT on FS1, well, whew, my Wednesdays are going to be the most lit day of the week for me. I'm sorry, that's neighbors outside yelling because I guess they might not have cell phones and I don't know why, but you know, just neighbors out here yelling at. I don't even know what time it is right now, but that's what you hear outside. Gotta address that because that was just loud. That caught me off guard. I'm like, who the hell are they yelling? You know. But that was that. I mean, no, guys, I don't like throwing shade. I don't like throwing heat. I try to keep it real positive, but I have to, you know, I mention my likes, I mention my dislikes, I mention when something may not make sense, and you know, something's. Now, is AEW perfect? No. They're not perfect. Nobody's perfect, though. Nobody's perfect. But if you want to sit here, and say that these guys are not trying and pushing for something that we're getting more professional wrestling, we're getting more wrestling. I enjoy that. I enjoy that you're getting a focus on the women's division. You're getting a focus on the tag team division. We're getting a focus on the tag team division like we haven't been given in I don't know how long. We're seeing this with AEW. So, hats off to them. I'm happy for them, and I'm excited that these are guys that decided to, you know, take a chance on themselves. And that's just awesome. That's amazing. And a lot of people won't take that chance. And those guys did it. So I'm excited for All Out. I'm almost speechless. I'm excited for October 2nd. I'm going to try my best to get me some tickets. I hope they don't sell out in like 5 minutes. And then it's like, I ain't getting no tickets. I can't go again. You know, so I hope there's a better way that they handle that, you know. But also, I mean, man, I'm going to be on it. You know, first thing I know that them tickets is up, I'm going to be on there getting my tickets. So I'm going to try my hardest. I almost want to guarantee it, but I can't. I'm going to try my hardest to be in DC October 2nd. This is Cloud Thoughts of Wrestling. This is episode 18. Thumbs up, subscribe, click the bell for notifications. But most importantly, you already know what it is. Conquer your goals, live your dreams, spread that love, spread that peace. I'm out. Peace out, y'all.